Daf Kuf Lamed Beis. Amud Beis will begin at Kuf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, 7 lines from the bottom, at the end of the first wide line, Tanya. We learned previously that we had a machlokes between Rav Yochanan and Rav Acha Bar Yaakov. Rav Yochanan learned that the way we know that Milah is Doiche Shabbos, because the pasuk says that Bayayim. Mashenkin, Rav Acha Bar Yaakov said we learn it from the word Shmini. So Tanya Kaval said Rav Yochanan Udaloik Rav Acha Bar Yaakov. We have arrived from the Brisa like Rav Yochanan, that the limit is like Rav Yochanan and not like Rav Acha Bar Yaakov, because it says Shmini Imo, that the Milah is on the 8th day, Afil b'Shabbos, which would imply initially our thinking is that Shmini means even on Shabbos, even if the 8th day falls on Shabbos. You would be able to learn out from there that you do the Milas Deicha Shabbos. So Mani Mekayim Mechalal Ma'is Yumas. It says you do Malach on Shabbos Mechalal Ma'is Yumas. That's B'Shar Malachas Chutz Milah. I would say that that's referring to Shar Malachas, other Malachas, excluding Milah, but Milas Deicha Shabbos. Or perhaps it means even Milah. It means even Milah. We say that Mechalal Ma'is Yumas is Davka. And that we say, Shmini, that Shmini is Lav Davka. Meaning initially we were saying that Shmini is Davka even on Shabbos. But perhaps not. Perhaps that Shmini means not Davka, means Shmini, the 8th day, but not if it falls out on Shabbos. And that Mechalala, Mois Yumas is Davka, which includes even the Milah. Umani Mekama Shmini Yimol, Chutz Mishabbos. And what it would apply to Shmini means if it doesn't fall out on Shabbos. Talmud Loimar. So therefore, I don't say clearly from here that Milas Deicha Shabbos, Talmud Loimar, Bayayim. Afil b'Shabbos. So this is a right of Rav Yochanan that the limit is Bayayim and not Shmini. Omer Rava, Hai Tanami Koramai Kanichale, we'll say Makakashle. So initially, we were saying that it says that Shmini would mean even on Shabbos, and they say perhaps not, that maybe the Shmini is Lav Davka, and it's only if Shmini falls out on Yemei Chol. So we have to learn out from Bayayim. So what's a Masa Matan? What's the Havamina? Why would have I said that Shmini means even on Shabbos, and then why do I reject that and say no, perhaps that Shmini means only Bechol? So when it says Halchikomer, this is the explanation, this is a pshat in the Brisa. Shmini Yimol, it says on the 8th day you do the Milah. There's a Shmini Yimol, Afil b'Shabbos. So initially I would think to say Shmini is Davke, and means even if it falls on Shabbos, you do the Milah Deicha Shabbos. Uma ani Mekayim Mechalal Ma'is Yumas. And where would I apply the Isser doing a Malach on Shabbos? B'Shar Malachas Chutz Milah, not by Milah. Aval Milah Dachi. But I would say that Milah Deicha Shabbos. My time, what's the reason? Kavachayim. I would say it's a Kavachayim. Uma Tzaras Shadeichas Avoida. Tzaras, the Isser of cutting off the Tzaras, the Isser of cutting off the leprosy. Yishomer B'Negar Tzaras, it's also to cut it off. It's Doicha Avoida, and the Kohen, if he has a Nega, he cannot do the Avoida, and if it means that he can't do the Avoida, and it will prevent it from doing the Avoida because of the Tzaras, it's still also to cut off the Tzaras to enable him to do the Avoida. The Isser of cutting off the Tzaras, therefore, is Doicha the Avoida. We say it stands in the way of Avoida. You can't cut off the Tzaras, even if it means the Kohen will not do the Avoida. But if Avoida Doicha is Shabbos, and yet Avoida is Doicha Shabbos, or Makrav Korbanos on Shabbos, even though it involves a Malacha. So Milah Doicha Isa. Milah is Doicha Tzaras. Milah is Doicha Tzaras. So Shabbos shenitchos b'nei ha'avoda, with Shabbos which is nitchos b'nei ha'avoda, ein adin shetei milah doicha isa. If Tzaras is doicha avoda, doicha and avoda is doicha Shabbos, well, milah if it's doicha Tzaras, milah if it's doicha Tzaras, if there's a neg on the mokam of milah, you do the milah even though it means cutting off the Tzaras. So you see that Milah is Doicha Tzaras. If Milah is Doicha Tzaras, which is Doicha Avoda, which is Doicha Shabbos, certainly Milah should be Doicha Shabbos. So that's what we initially thought. Uma Eino Dekoamara, but then we reject that. And we say, no, you can't learn it out from there. And Shmini is lav davki, you have to learn it out from Bayayim. Hadar Amra, then the Tana says, Umi the Saras Chamura, you're saying that Saras is Chamur, then Saras is more Chomer than a Avodah, therefore more Chomer than Shabbos. Dilma Shabbos Chamur. Maybe Shabbos is more Chomer than Saras. Why is that? Shekin Yesh v'Anshin v'Asaras Harbe. And because Shabbos has all the Einshin v'Asaras, there's so many times that's mentioned the Isra to Malach on Shabbos, and it has the punishments of being B'chal Shabbos, and it has Misa and Kores. Umimai Mishum D'Chamira Tzarasi. And you're saying, well, but Tzaras is Doich Avodah and Avodah Shabbos. No. Maybe Shabbos is more Chomer than Tzaras, and therefore you have no Kal V'Chaimer, L'gabi Mila. Why is Tzaras, you say Tzaras is Doich the Avodah, and Avodah is Doich Shabbos? No. Who says that's because it's a Chomer of Tzaras? Maybe it's still Mimshul Megaber, the way Chazir. Maybe it's because we don't allow you to cut off the tzaras in order to do the avodah, because seif kol seif, the person will not be allowed to do the avodah, because in any event he'll still be tamei, and therefore there's no reason to cut off the tzaras, and therefore it's not because the avodah is, we say, not because tzaras is more chomer than the avodah. It's just that it's also to cut off the tzaras because you will not be able to do the avodah in any event. And so therefore, maybe Shabbos is more chomer than tzaras, and you have no kal v'chaimer. Umani mekayim shmini yimol chutz mishabbos. And therefore, shmini yimol is lav davka, and it's chutz mishabbos tamid lamer bayayim afilu b'shabbos. That's why l'maskana we say the limud enechanami is from bayayim. It's from bayayim and not from shmini. Tan Rabbanon, Mila Deiches Hatzaras, Mila is Deichet Tzaras. So what was underlying the previous limud was that if there's a nega on the Makam Mila, nevertheless, you perform the Mila, even though it means cutting off the Tzaras. So Mila Deiches Hatzaras, Bein Bismana, Bein Shalai Bismana. Whether the Mila is the Mila on the 8th day, Bismana, or even if it's not on the 8th day, it's still Deichet Tzaras. Yontav Eino Doicha Ala Bismana Bilvad. Yontav is only Doicha Bismana. Yontav, and certainly Shabbos, it's only if it's a Mila Bismana on the 8th day that it is Doicha, that Mila is Doicha Yontav and Shabbos. So we say that Mila is Doicha Tzaras, whether the Mila is Bismana or not. But that Mila is Doicha Yontav or Shabbos is only a Mila on the 8th day, and when a Mila is Bismana. And not a Mila. How do I know this? The Tan Rabbanan. So Legabi the first halacha, then Mila is Deichet Tzaras, whether it's Bismana or not. Says Yimel B'Soral also that the Mila should be formed Vav Pi Sheisham Baheres Yakuts. Even if there's a Tzaras on the Makam Mila Yakuts, you have to perform the Mila and you cut it off. Uma Ani Mekayim Yishamar B'Negat Tzaras. The pasuk says Yishamar B'Negat Tzaras. Where do I apply that? I would say that's B'Shar Mekayim Chutz Mimila. I would say that is not the Chomer one. We don't take it to be this in the literally and unconditionally. We say that it applies B'Shar Mekayim Chutz Mimila. Or maybe I say no. That's Davka. Yishamar B'Negat Tzaras is Davka. And it applies, perhaps I would say even B'Makam Mila. Uma Ani Mekayim Yimel B'Sar Lasa, and then where would I apply Yimel B'Sar Lasa? Perhaps I should say Yimel B'Sar Lasa, that's where it's Lav Davka. I would say B'Zman Shein Ba Beheres. I would say only if there's no Beheres. Talmud Leimer, B'Sar. It says B'Sar, it says extra to tell me B'Sar, which it doesn't have to say. Afopi Sheyesham Beheres, even though if there's a Beheres, you have to cut it off. The B'Sar is telling me that the Mila is performed, even though it means cutting off the Baheres de Nega. So again, just like we had the same Masamatan as we had before, on the Rava Haitanami Kuramai Nichle, Obosai Mai Kashle. What was Nich at the beginning to say that the Mila is Davka and not Yishamar B'Negat Tzaras? And then the Maskani says, no, should say that the Yishamar B'Negat Tzaras is Davka, not the Mila, and that's why I need a special limud of B'Sar. So Hachikam. Yimal Basar Losa Afa Pishesh Baheres. Perhaps I'll say that Yimul B'Sarasot, that's Dafka, and even if there's a Nega, Uma Ani Mekane Hisham B'Negat Saraz, and where would I apply Hisham B'Negat Saraz, B'Sham Mekane Chutz Mila, Ava Mila Deichas Et Saraz. But I should say that Mila is Deichas Et Saraz, and the Mila is Dafka. That when it says that Yimul B'Sarasot, that's where it's Dafka. My time, why should I say that? Because the Asaf Kal V'Chayr. I would learn out of a Kal V'Chayr. Uma Shabbos Chamura, Madach Shabbos is Chomer. Like we said, because Shabbos has Einshem Horas Harbe, Mila Deicha. Nevertheless, Mila is Deicha Shabbos. Like we learn how to be Mila is Deicha Shabbos. Saras, look, Kol Shken. So certainly Mila should be Deicha Saras. So therefore, initially I thought to say that Yimol B'Sar Los is Dafka, and Yishon Negus Saras is not, and therefore Mila, I would know automatically from that the Mila is Deicha Saras. And then the Tana rejects that when he says he says no, perhaps that's not so. What does he mean by that? Then he says no. How do I know that Shabbos is Chomer? And therefore I say Shabbos is Chomer, and if Milah is Deicha Shabbos, certainly it's Deicha Saras. Who says Dilma Saras Chamiri? Maybe Saras is more Chomer. Shekain Deichas Avoda, because it's Deicha Avoda. If there's a nega, if the kohen has a nega, you don't cut it off in order to enable them to do the Avoda. Avoda Deicha Shabbos, and Avoda is Deicha Shabbos. So certainly Saras is more Chomer than Shabbos. Tamalaya Basar Vafal Pishesh Sham Beheres. Says Basar, even though there's Beheres, that's how we learn out that the Mila is Deicha Saras. Lishnachlina Mila Deicha Saras. Mila is Deicha Saras. My time now. Why would I say that? Because it's a mitzvah's essay to perform the mitzvah of Mila, so it's Deicha the Loisase of Yisham B'Nei Saras. Umay oy einoi de kohomar. Now, why does the Tana reject that? What does he say? Why does he change that? Hadar kohomar. He says no. Imay de Shabbos chamir. How do I know that Shabbos is chomer? How do I know that you're telling me that Shabbos is chomer b'yesh because it's yesh by einshem horas harbe? Dilma saras chamir. Maybe saras is more chomer. Why should I say that saras is more chomer? Shekain doiches avoda, because saras is doiches avoda. If the kohen has a nega, then we don't say he should cut off the nega in order to enable him to do the avoda. We say that no, he is restricted and he's muzer from cutting off the nega, even if it means he won't be able to do the avoda. So you see that saras is more chomer v'avoda. V'avoda doiches Shabbos, and avoda is more chomer than Shabbos because we do avoda, we mark the karbonos in Shabbos, even though it means that he's doing the malacha. So certainly saras would be more chomer than Shabbos. So therefore, how do I know that? Therefore, we say that it's doicha mila is doicha the saras. Talmud loyma b'sar v'af b'sheisham beheres, even though there's a beheres. Lishnachrina, another approach is mila doicha saras, that we say that mila is doicha saras. My time because we say the essay of performing the mila is doicha the loisase of cutting off the saras. Umay oy einoi de koamar. And then why do we change that? So initially we would say that mila is doichet saras, and it means that hishomer neg v'saras is, we say that it's not the dafka umay oy einoi de koamar. Now why do we reverse that? Hadar koamar ein madamin dasi esi v'doches loisase. Where do we say that the esi doich loisase greater when there's only Eloisase? But hi, essay v'loisase. But by tsaras, you have both. You have a loisase, but you have an essay as well. So therefore, you can't say that the essay of Mila is doicha tsaras, because by tsaras you have hishomer b'negat tsaras. Hishomer is a loisase, And la'asais kachol asher yairo, which is an essay. We don't say an essay is doich haloi sasei in an essay. So therefore, without a special limud, I would not say that the mila is doich the tzaras. Therefore, mani mekayim yimol b'sar losa b'zman shein bam beheres. And I would say that yimol is lavdavke. It means only when there's no beheres, but without a special limud. I would not say that the milah is deicha, that's ras, tamud loimer, b'sar. That's why I have the special limud b'sar. V'afal pi sheyesham beheres, even though there's a beheres, it's yakud. Godol, b'sar. Well, that's good by a godol, an adult that says basar. Kotan namiksi be basar, and an eighth day, by the eighth day, it says basar. So then I can learn out from those, in both those cases, I have this extra limud to tell me that the milah is deichut tzaras. However, beinani minalon, how do I know that if it's a kotan? But it's not the eighth day, it's not the milah of the eighth day. Now over there, we only know the Mila, from that pasuk it says, because the pasuk says, Himol lechem kol zachar. It says, Himol lechem kol zachar, but it doesn't say basar. So how do I know over there that the Mila is deicha? It's interesting that Rashi says that by a Beinani, it's after the eighth day, the father's mitzvah to do the Mila. That the father's mitzvah on the Mila, but there is discussion in the Paiskim, the different poskim about if that is so, or if the father's obligation for Mila is only on the eighth day. Once the eighth day has passed, perhaps that's a chiyuv on Bezdin, but not on the father. The Rashi is saying clearly that it does reside with the father. So, Omar Abaya, how do we know that by a Beinani, where it doesn't say Basar, that it's Zeichut Saraz, also Beinani? He will learn out from both, from the Godol and from the Kotel. The Godol loyas, you can't learn it out from a Godol, she can't own Karas. Because the Godol, if he doesn't perform the mitzvah Mila, he has a punishment of Karas. And by the Katan, even a Beinani, there's no Karas. Mikatan loyas, you can't learn out, she can't Mila Bisman. It's a Mila Bisman. Atzar Shavish Behem, the Tzar Shavish Kibain, Shekin, Nimoilam, Deichus Tzaras. The Tzar Shavish is that there's a mitzvah Mila and Deichus Tzaras. Of course, Nimoilam, Deichus Tzaras. So we learn out from the same, from by a Beinani, it's a mitzvah Mila and it's Deicha the Tzaras. Rava Omar, Rava says that the B'sar, he has a different limit. Rava Amar Mila Bismana Daicha Leitzra Krom. He says that Mila Bismana, you don't need B'sar to teach me Mila Bismana on the eighth day, that it's Daicha. That is Daicha Tzaraz. I don't need that. Mikal V'chayim I can learn that from a Kal V'chayim. Uma Shabbos the Chamir, Shabbos is Chomor, that it has mitzvahs and Azharas, it has Azharas, and Harbe and Einshim Harbe, the Daicha. And nevertheless, Mila is Deicha Shabbos, even though Shabbos is Chomor, Tzaras lo kol shekain. So certainly Mila is Deicha Tzaras. So therefore, I have the Basar that is written by Mila Bismana. I don't need it to tell me it's Deicha Tzaras. I can learn out from a Kal V'chaymer. I can apply that, Imena Inyan, to, as the Rishonim speak out, Imena Inyan for Mila Bismana, apply it to a Beinani. You tell me that Shabbos is Chomor because as Einshim and Azharas Harbe Dimot Tzaras Chamiri Shekain Deichas Avoda V'Avoda Deichas Shabbos. Maybe Tzaras is more Chomor because Tzaras Deicha Avoda and if I say Shabbos. The more so Rava answers, no, Hasam Lamishum the Chamir Tzaras. That's not because when we say that you don't cut off the tzaras, even it means even at the expense of the avodah that you will not be able to do the avodah. It's not because tzaras is machomer al mishum degavro delay chazi, because the person, the kohen, will not be roy to do the avodah, because even if you cut it off, then he still won't be roy to do the avodah. It'll be tummy. So. Therefore, you have no right that it's more chomer. In fact, the Gemara Omai, Yakas Bahar to V'Yavim, cut it off the Baharis and let him do the void. The Gemara says, what do you mean? Mechuser Tfilahu. He's still Tomei, he's Mechuser Tfilahu. So no, Rav Safra says Tenach Negoim Tameim. Well, that's true if it's a nega which is Tomei. Therefore, even if you cut it off, it'll still be Tomei. You won't be able to do the avodah. But what will you say in a case of Negoim Tzaharim Ma'ikel Meimar? If you have a case of a nega which is Torah, let's say the nega covers his whole body, so he's Torah, but he still can't do the avodah. As the Rishonim speak out, he's considered a Balmum. So he's considered a Balmum, he can't do the avodah, but he's not Tomei, so why not say in such a case, cut off the nega? Or if you have different types of a Negoim which have a simin, a nega, which is not Tomei, a boyak, which is not Tomei, why don't you say, cut it off and do the avodah? Elamai, therefore we say that must be that it's not because of the fact that the person can't do the avodah, it's because of the chumrah of tzaras. A nega is more chumrah than tzaras. Elamar Rav Ashi says no. He says not like Rav Safra. He says, when would I say that an essay is doicha aloi saseh kigain mila b'tzaras? That's the case of mila b'tzaras, inami tzitzis v'kilayim, or a case of tzitzis kilayim, that you have a linen garment that you put on the tzitzis, even if it has the tchelas, which is out of wool, even though it's kilayim and normally it's also. But we allow you, we say the essay of putting on tzitzis is doicha the love of kilayim. That's in those types of cases to be in the me'akar lav kamaikim es, where at the time when he's over the love, he cuts off the tzaras, but at the same moment he's mekayim the mitzvah of milah. He is wearing kilayim, but he's mekayim the mitzvah of tzitzis. But hacha be'idin the me'akar lav. But here, when you cut off the tzaras, loy kamaikim esek, you're not mekayim the esek. The essay only comes afterwards when you do the avodah. So therefore, you say that it cannot be doicha. You cannot say that the avodah should be doicha tzaras, because by cutting off the tzaras, you're not makayim at that moment the mitzvah avodah. So the fact that you don't cut off the tzaras in order to do the avodah, that doesn't show you. He says it doesn't show you that that means that tzaras is more chomer. It means that you can't do it because you're not being mekayim the mitzvah at that point. So we won't say that the essay should be doicha l'isasi. V'ha the Rav Safra, this machlekes Rav Safra tanoi. It's actually a machlekes tanoi. The Tanya learns the brayse b'sar afal pi v'af pi sheisham beheres himo. The Rav Ashi says you learn out from b'sar, from the word basar, that even though there's a beheres, that you do the meal. Rav Yonasan Aimer Ein Tzarach. He says it's not necessary. Shabbat Ein Tzarach. Shabbat is chamura doicha madach. Mila is doicha Shabbat, which is chamur. Tzaras lo kol shekain. Certainly, it should be mila should be doicha tzaras. So you see that it's machlokes if you use the word basar to teach me that it's doicha, the mila b'zman is doicha, or do you say no, you don't need the word b'sar to tell mila b'zman is doicha, you would learn it out of a kal v'chaimer. That's machlokes Rava and Rav Safra.